Right, so today I'm going to have a look at the Demon, the Midland Gun Company Demon air rifles. Now I've got two of these fine air rifles, and these were made from, I believe, 1919 up to 1935 sort of period. They're a strange rifle because there is a lot of debate about whether they were actually made by the Midland Gun Company, which was based in Birmingham, or whether they were shipped in Diana Model 27s, which they incredibly closely resemble, and were just given some slight minor tweaks by the Midland Gun Company, because there are some differences between the Diana 27 and this rifle, but they are fairly cosmetic. The main one is the stocks. The Midland Gun Company rifles have checkered stocks with a slightly different shape, and also some minor differences to the sighting systems. But generally speaking, the two are nigh on identical. As I say, minor differences in the stocks and the way the stocks held on, because the Midland Gun Company rifles have a very distinctive bolt that passes through the stock at the top and holds them on. I'll show you that in a minute. So, Midland Gun Company, they made two types of these. They made the standard version and the deluxe version, and the deluxe version was engraved to varying degrees. Most of them were just engraved on the trigger block, but some of them also had engraving on the trigger guards and on the front breech area of the rifle, whereas the standard one had no engraving whatsoever. They also changed ever so slightly from the earlier versions to the later versions. So I'll just show you the differences between the deluxe and the standard. So this is a deluxe, and as you can see, this is the bolt that goes through the stock, and it's got this very distinctive nut inlaid into the top, and that's one of the easiest ways to tell you've got a Midland Gun Company rifle if the markings have been worn away. As I say, this is a deluxe one. As you can see, got a lot of engraving on the top, engraving to the nut, engraving here. You can see how they've even engraved the the screws are even sort of got a shell-like engraving. Trigger guard, again, engraved. Screw on the back here, also engraved. And that's repeated on the other side. Very, very nice. Gives the rifle a nice air of distinction, I think. And then on the front, again, we have engraving on the front. See? Very nice. And it scrolls round. And the nuts and screws all engraved again. Same on the other side. The standard rifle has none of that. Standard rifle, nothing at all. No engraving. They both have the Midland Gun Company Birmingham, made in England, stamped on the top. There's no actually reference on the rifle to it being called a Demon. None at all. As you can see, even the screw head on the standard one is plain. Both got nice walnut stocks. Checkering, which is reasonably well done. Triggers adjusted by the usual sort of pre Second World War nut that just bolt with a nut on that just adjusts the trigger pull. And the difference is, this is an earlier one. This is actually a very, very, very early Demon. This is serial number, that's upside down, but serial number, you can see that, serial number 40. So this is a very, very early Demon. And as you can see, where the barrel joins onto the breech, it's sort of, you can see that, it's sort of squared off a bit more where it sits in. Whereas on the later ones, the barrels are soldered into the, well, brazed into the action at the top. These have a sort of more squared off section part. But other than that, that's about the only real difference between the earlier and the later versions. Really good air rifles, made in 22 and 177. Both of these are 177 caliber, and surprisingly powerful air rifle for such a slender rifle. The cylinders aren't especially thick, but they are quite long, and these guns do generate a fair amount of power. Getting about 9 foot-pounds out of these in 177, or thereabouts. And very accurate rifles. Really, really nice to shoot. Very accurate, not twangy at all. Nice trigger pulls on them. And they're just a good gun. They come up to the shoulder very, very well. Fairly light rifle, about £6, something like that. Quite long, 40 odd inches long. I think they are... Yeah, 42, just over 42 inches long they are. Really, really nice. Very nice. But if you get a model, Diana Model 27, and hold it against these, you can immediately see where they drew their inspiration from, because the two rifles are incredibly similar. Which has always led to this discussion of whether these were actually made in Birmingham, or whether they are just Dianas that were brought in and then quite heavily modified, especially the Deluxe one, which was engraved, had a different stock put on it and whatnot. But they are very, very similar. Very similar. Extremely well put together rifle. The detent lockup is very, very solid on them. And they just shoot really sweet. Really sweet shooting rifles. So they are. Not exactly common. You don't see that many of this rifle around. Especially not the Deluxe ones. There's not that many of the original Demon rifles around. But they are very nice British rifle. Or possibly British rifle.